No audio. There we go. We're back now. All right, we're good now. Welcome back to episode number 96. Or sorry, 97. What's happening, my friends? Hope you guys are all doing well. Let's make an epic stream here. Gold, of course, pushing higher. Straight into supply, straight into an initial break immediately from the get-go. Hope you guys are having fun with gold so far. At least we all do. We all have. We've been waiting for this moment for a long period of time here. So yeah, it's gonna be good. Okay, let's see who with us in the chat today. Before we push and move on here, let's see what's going on. What's going on? Hey, Georgelina, below, my friend. Good to see you. Ramy, good to see you, my friend. Francisco, my man, how are you? Perry, good to see you. Habib, yes. Sour Trades, what's happening? Praveen, how you doing, man? Good to see you too. Thomas, yes. Hamza, yes. Masood, good morning. Thank you, my friend. Allah, evil joke, yes. All right, the fam is back. Let's make it a stream. Let's talk about everything that we need to do this week to end up the week strong. And let's go from here, my friends. Let's make it happen. Let's do it. Yes, welcome back. Okay. Yes, sir. A little bit of an introduction. Always need that tune to wake up and see gold dumping right in front of our eyes right now at this current moment here. Yeah, gold initial push, immediate reversal. What is happening right now? What is going on? That's the big what if. That's the big what if right now at the moment. Initially, that reaction was really strong. You would supposed to see a better reaction, to be honest, from the value area high, right, on the retracement, or at least on the reaction here. Let's push it down a little bit. But we're pushing actually straight through it right now at the moment. So it kind of is shifting the momentum a little bit right now. Okay, because you want to actually stay above, you know, specifically the 4625, and you don't want to come down that aggressively, right? So that means that right now with longs, you have to be a little bit careful. All right, if you didn't catch the longs on the breakout initially, and you waited for the retracement and you don't see any reaction, then it's better to wait a little bit, because clearly right now we're doing something super aggressively, and that is taking out the previous daily highs and immediately reversing to take out the lows of the open, right? The opening lows. So that means we'll probably have to push down a little bit lower, which is actually good, okay? Because it's actually something I've been waiting for in case we would come and do that, to be honest. Because we have some really good levels sitting below there, which I was actually hoping for, because I think that would just make more sense in terms of like the, you know, risk to reward ratios and things like that as well here. So overall, I was looking at gold already from a perspective of using the previous daily point of control, all right? The previous daily point of control would be actually an amazing level to watch, in my opinion, if it would break down and we would come down a little bit more. But yeah, we do have some local support here at this current moment at the bottom, but also aggressive dump, don't you think? Very aggressively, all right? Taking and pushing back into that area and actually breaking below, you see that? The value area low of the range that we created. So in essence, the last thing we should do now is to look for longs in the short term, right? Because if we manage to break out, take out the highs and break down, a deeper pullback is definitely possible. Okay, I hope that makes sense. Right around there. So yeah, be a bit careful with longing now. Actually, good that you saw this and that we didn't got sniped into that like huge breakout moment, maker or breaker moment for gold right there. Okay, because I think it's extremely important that you pay attention to this right now, okay, to see what's happening on this structure that we're actually forming. Okay, huge fake out actually. So yeah, number one, my level was the level that I was looking for was actually this one. But let me check real quick. Let's clean everything up for a second, okay? Let's just go over everything that we need to know, and then we move further towards the next level, okay? Because it's actually super important right now here. Anyways, number one, I think that is already key, and that is the fact that we are, if we mark out the higher time frame, of course, we are still in that higher time frame resistance that we cannot neglect that right now. We are there. We have reached that level. We pretty much filled every gap possible. But again, the intraday trend in itself is super bullish, right? Super strong, super bullish. You have a level of demand here. You have multiple areas of support created already. So in essence, you know, you can wait for like a higher time frame reversal, but at the same time, if the intraday trend is so strong, then what you'll actually want to do is keep trading the trend until you're really invalidated, right? Because otherwise you keep hoping for the reversal on the higher time frame, but then the reversal then never comes. And then the moment you finally wait for the reversal, right, you sit on your hands for, I don't know, multiple weeks sometimes. You never know, right? So it's better for me always to just keep trading and following up with the trend, keep moving into the direction of the value area. Where is it going? How is it reacting? And actually based around that, just keep trading it until we're quote unquote sort of invalidated once, to then say, okay, now we're invalidated. Now let's pay attention. Let's be patient and let's see, you know, what we can do from here. Okay. I think that is the best possible way for us to potentially move into that one solid direction. Okay. So what's the first step when you see that higher time frame resistance is hit? At the same time, you know, we're still trending upwards. Pretty much using the previous day. Okay, the previous daily point of control, the previous daily volume profile right here. Okay, taking the fixed range volume profile from the left to the right, and then pretty much taking it back towards the opening of today. So pretty much the closure of Friday, right? And then the two levels that I will currently see that like I have or paying a lot of attention to myself is this huge gap here. You see that the biggest gap inside of the value area which is sitting below. We have a couple other gaps below here though, like we're in one right now at the moment, okay? But do you guys see this area right there? Let me know in the chat, you know, and how do we call that? Please let me know, okay? Because it's actually super important. And the red line is of course the point of control of Friday, okay, where the most volume was traded. I think this is super important. So I want to kind of use this gap right there, which aligns with the value area low. Mark out that level, okay, right here. Call it the low volume node, you guys are correct. And then put the point of control above that area, which is at 4582, okay, right there. To me, when we talk about buying, right, that will be for me like an amazing level to buy from, right? To just see if we can stay above that, right? If price leaves the fair value of yesterday, so let's say we take the fair low and we take the value area high, right? And we break outside of that, so we actually do break out of that, you have to pay a lot of attention to what happens on the retest. Because if you can't pull back into that and you get rejected there, well, there is a bigger chance that price just wants to do something like this, right? And it wants to continue to come down and find a new area of balance, such as, you know, the previous range somewhere from a Wednesday, right? Something like that, which we have sitting around here, okay? So it could be that could be the next target, but that's something for us not to think about right now because we're still above it and we have major support there. So that is for me always a major area to watch. Okay, it's actually a beautiful level. The point of control combined with a low volume node sitting right below that, okay, which actually is an amazing area, in my opinion, to look for longs now that we have broken out below the opening low and the value area, okay, of not today, but predominantly of the range that we have been building right there. You can kind of see how this now is resistance right there, okay? Then the question is, because we're below it, right, and we kind of faked out above it, is it then worth it to short it? I would say theoretically yes, but the problem is that we're in the value area of yesterday and we have all these nodes, these low volume nodes sitting right here. You see that on the left side? And that means that will probably cause, or we'll see a lot of potential short-term absorption. It will not be clean. It will not be clean setup because it will most likely be a lot of bouncing up and down from here, you know, maybe going deeper, but it will not be a clean trade, I would say, in my opinion, right there. Okay, so yeah, I'm watching this very carefully. The point of control of the previous day and the low volume node below that. Like, I hope we can get there and see if we can move the value area down towards this low and potentially create some sort of reaction, a little bit of a bullish reaction, and then look for the next leg up. I mean, let's do this until we're proven otherwise, okay? And pretty much go from there. All right. I think that makes the most sense. All right. Perfect. How was your week so far last week, my friends? How did you guys do? It was a really neutral week, I must say, but we ended the week in profits, which is the most important part, right? That we followed up with everything that we said we would do. And yeah, that is something that we would look at in general, is the weekly results as well here. Posted also a thing in Telegram right here for all the legitimate, transparent updates of the account that we're doing right now, that we're using. Okay, the live stream 100K challenge update. We started at 6.5K roughly. It could be a little bit higher, a little bit lower, but the current balance is sitting at 23.6, right, with a total profit of 16,595. 56 trades taken. Okay. 70% win rate. Average risk to reward ratio actually 1.1 to 10. It should be higher in my opinion, but the win rate compensates for that. The profit factor of 2.5, 20 green days, 6 red days. And I mean, that's good enough for me in the summer. Okay, this was June, July, and August. I mean, usually in the summer months, most of the summer we have been in a range. It's just that the last 2 weeks we broke out, right? But anything besides that was just a big, fat, thick range. So I think we've done solid and we've done good enough in order for us to say, okay, with confidence now, that is a good foundation, okay? That is a good foundation for myself to say, okay, nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that in terms of green days, in terms of red days. And that's even a couple days where we kind of like, you know, where I could have taken any trades because of these streams. And some of them were outside of the streams, etc., etc. I decided to take it on another account and things like that. So overall, we're heading in the right direction, right? We're heading in the right direction right there. Okay. So I think that is amazing that we can now track this as well here, in terms of, yeah, making sure that we have something like this set up right there. Okay. What are you using to track the progress? This is actually my own, my own software. My own platform. Can't really talk about it. Yet, at least. Can't really talk about it yet. Yes. Okay. Now let's see if we can get down to the point of control of the previous day. I would love to see this here. Right now at the moment, you can tell, and I think we'll find a lot of resistance already in the short term. When I say short term, I'm talking about the 4,612. You know, the range itself, right there. Okay. Yeah. The elites need that. Yeah, well, the elite will get that. We'll get actually that software very soon, but it's not fully there yet with the development. I'm still working on a couple things right there. So yeah, it's actually a different thing. It has a completely different function. But yeah, looking forward to share this with you guys for sure. Let's do it. Let the gold hybrid elite group be the beta testers of this platform that I'm building right now. Gonna be awesome. For sure. Okay. But yeah, let the results speak for itself. And I think also a big lesson out of this data, okay, is the fact that in my opinion, what you have to understand is, right, if we have 20 green days and 6 red days, and we made around, what, $17,000 profit, right? Pretty much tripled the account size. That you have to understand that you can't take every trade, you can't take every individual stream that we do live, right? Kind of for granted, or you can't isolate it, right? And this is what I got here. Hopefully you can see from the data itself that if you win 70%, you lose 30% of the time. Okay. If you have 26 days of trading, you have also 6 red days included. Okay. Does it mean we don't make any money? No. Does it mean we're not profitable? No. Right? It simply means this is all part of the journey. It's all part of the probability. It's all part of the variance. And this is why it's so important to follow specific setups that we like, that we follow, that we trust, that we know. And only that, okay, in order for us to maintain this trajectory, okay? So this is why I think the people that come here on a daily basis, they understand that. If you are new, okay, understand that this is how it actually works, okay? So I get it, you lose a trade, we lose a trade sometimes, and it's annoying, but it shouldn't distract us ourselves from the bigger picture, what we're actually doing, okay? And this is in my opinion, or this is not just my opinion, but this is what is trading, what trading is really, really about, okay? It is about understanding both, understanding the journey, understanding what we're actually doing here, what our goal is, and how we believe we can get towards that target or towards that goal in the first place, okay? All that makes sense. Yeah. At the same time, guys, Bitcoin is ripping too, right? While gold is getting towards our point of interest right now, which I kind of expected after that flush, right? Bitcoin is doing something very interesting too right now. I am watching it. I actually had a limit order set before. But Bitcoin also has been pushing up really strong, right? And we have this huge range here. You see that? That huge range. And we created this huge, always manipulation right there. This huge wick to the downside right there. A lot of people went short here. Okay, a lot of people went short at the bottom. And then price broke out, pushed up higher, and is now testing the range. Okay? We call that a CME play, all right? Or an AMD, like a consolidation manipulation and an expansion play, and now pulling back into the range itself. So if you mark out the range right there, you can actually see that we are at the value area high, okay? So if you are a Bitcoin fanatic, then actually Bitcoin and gold are moving very similarly. And Bitcoin is also at a important level now. Important point of interest right now. And it actually will showcase a lot in terms of what Bitcoin wants to do here. And then you have the big move for Bitcoin. Like this whole week was one of the biggest moves that we have probably seen ever. And this whole week right here, okay, is showing us also that the point of control is there at the same level. And there are tons of gaps below that, which I actually love to see right there. So Bitcoin will have a lot of setups this week. Okay. Bitcoin will also have a lot of probably clean trades as well now that we have been waiting for a breakout here. It's actually great. People see, oh, the move already happened, so it's too late. Well, that's usually where the better setups come from still. Okay. So yeah, let's see. What would you do if gold gets back to our level? Well, what I would do, number one, is wait for price to get there. Number two, when price is there, we'll wait for a reaction, see if there is an absorption taking place. Number three, we'll see how the daily profile develops, okay? And if you move down and there is a lot more volume traded here and you push back up and you break above a key level, I think you can go long pretty safely right there. I think you can go long pretty safely. It's actually what we did what I did on a Friday. The Friday setup was actually very similar to that, right? You tapped into the previous daily point of control and price absorbed, tapped into the volume node, it broke back above and then it reacted, okay? Yeah, it reacted from that area, right around there, okay? When are you going to open the hybrid elite? The gold hybrid trading elite is going to open up this week. Yeah, it's been almost 2 months. So we are going to open up this week. At least the first list will be opened this week. And yeah, today will be also a very important session for the current group. Because we're going to talk about some layers, some setups. The specific setups. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be a good session. Lorenzo, I'm planning to take a credit card and 1000% only follow your trades with 20 to 30K. Why not get into the elite then and learn it completely for way less than that? So you can take your matter in your own hands, my friend. It's much, much better. You don't have to wait. You don't have to sit around, wait for your boy. I'm learning this volume strategy. Can it work on the 1 minute? 100%. But in essence, for me, the time frame is relatively irrelevant. You know, the 1 minute or the 5 minute, like it doesn't really change anything for me. Okay, as you can see here, it's pretty much the same structure, the same level. We're looking at the same thing. So I don't think it's the 1 minute really for me that does it. Okay, I could be using the 1 minute, could be using the 15 minute, could be using the 5 minute. In essence, it's about the levels that I'm watching and the reactions at those levels In terms of confirmation, entry confirmations, maybe that will give you a bit of a different outlook, right? That you wait for these confirmations on the lower time frame with tighter stops, tighter targets. Yeah, so that kind of makes sense. Divergence, 1 minute with 9-day close along with a divergence. Yeah, we're not really willing to drop yet, right? Even though we're below the value area. Mama, so I want Friday stream. I sent you the message also for further process also, but no response to now. Thank you for messaging me. I'm happy that you messaged me about this. Because what is your Instagram username? The main reason why I'm asking this is, you know what happened Friday after the giveaway? We did a giveaway, right? With one person. I want to work personally, like a one-on-one for a couple of sessions. It's not like the elite, but it's just you know, going in a couple one-on-one sessions together. And one person won, right? One person won, but 20 people pretended like they were that one person. You know, and this is the problem that I had a lot with IG. And I need to figure out a way because people pretend to be that one person. And I couldn't verify it properly. So I was like, shit, now what do I do now? So I was hoping that you send me a message and that you tell me what your Instagram username is. So you can actually confirm it. Yeah. But that's actually what happened. So thank you for sharing that. Okay. There were probably moments where I give a giveaway and then I gave it to the wrong, literally gave it to the wrong person. Xau Usd, Ali. Okay, thank you, man. Thank you, man. Do I have it? Okay. Yeah, we're trying you're kind of trying to reclaim it right now. Yeah, we are reacting from some of the monzo right here, but we're trying to reclaim this. It's true. And there's no way for us to look for shorts right now at the moment. It's just a way too bullish still on the intraday for me to look for shorts right now. I don't think that makes a lot of sense to me at the moment. Yeah, we are trying to break back inside of the value area, so we have to watch what happens here now. We have to watch what happens here. Okay, at least let's wait for this hourly candle to close right now and then see where we close, because this hourly closure is going to be in like 8 minutes. We are seeing new buyers stepping in again. We are tapping into an area of volume from I think from Friday. Not that big zone that we were waiting for, but I guess we are trying to break back inside of the very area right now. We actually are closing back above the Sunday open too. So we're probably seeing a lot more opportunity there. We'll be watching it though, very carefully. Hi, do you have any news around the earthquake in Japan? I do not. Tell me what happened. What happened? Earthquake in Japan. Earthquake in Indonesia and now in Japan. Doesn't look too weak right now at the moment, right? Let's be honest here on gold. Doesn't look too weak right now. Well, we broke below the VWAP. We did that, yes. But there is definitely an absorption taking place here. We cannot deny right now at the moment. You have this this major zone right there. And on gold itself, you can see that we're breaking and closing back below the value area low. It's a bit of a mess because you took out the previous daily highs, you flushed down, you took out the daily lows, and now we're reclaimed the value area low again. So it's a very tight range because the VWAP is, I think, sitting right there. You see that? Right there. We're literally in it. But still, absorption looks pretty strong. The real VWAP is actually sitting right here. We haven't touched it yet. So let that hourly closure do its thing and then see if the next hourly bottom wick will determine something for us. Because look at the hourly candle here. Super indecisive candle. I'm not sure if you can see the wick. Yeah, you can see the wick. I live in that area where the center of that earthquake was there. My house was shaking violently for a few seconds in the middle of the night. Yeah, damn. Japan is famous for its earthquakes, man. Hope you're doing well, my man. Okay, what levels do we have? We have the 15. Sorry, the 10. What else do we have? We have the POC. The very high. 26. Okay. What support of risk management do you do? Usually trail your stop loss? Not necessarily. No, I don't really trail my stops too much. I prefer to let trades either run, right? Either let my trades run or pretty much set and have one TP depending on the structure of the market. Sometimes I don't take any profits and I just let it run to full target. It just depends on the structure, the direction, the type of trade, and the trend. Okay, even though it looks like we tapped above the VWAP, right? I just want to clarify that we're actually now in it. Okay, and this is the VWAP right there. Okay, it's on the order flow right there. That's the VWAP that I really like, trust. The one that I really pay attention to always is the VWAP right there. We tapped into it right now. Right now. Yeah. Anyways, if you guys want to stay updated about my results, everything from scratch, every detail, from profit factor to risk to reward to win rate, amount of trades, stay in the Telegram group, right? And keep a close eye on the Telegram community, and then you get it in there. Like I said before, when we reach the 100K, slow and steady, not aggressively, because everyone can do that, right? Everyone can aggressively scale, do that like 100K challenge and go have no risk management, right? And get there. We can all do that if we have some money to work with. And if we have some money to lose as well. I can go a couple grand on it and just scale the shit out of it, right? And try to just get into that winning streak. We can all do that. But doing this for over, in this case already 56 trades, right? Getting to like hundreds of trades consistently like that, it's a whole different ball game. Okay, so I think that's where the real amazing challenge is at, is following that process. Like I said, once we reach the 100K, I will most likely retire from YouTube. From YouTube, okay, not from my group, but from YouTube. All right, hourly closure in 1 minute. Why retire? Because I think that's an amazing goal. Like, I have nothing else to prove. I've been doing this for 5 years, and then growing an account and then reaching a target. I think it's the most transparent thing you can do here. And tracking every single trade live on stream. I don't know what's better than that. There is no end here. There is no end to this. Okay. You can see I don't promote any brokers. I don't promote anything. except for my private group once every 6 weeks or once every 2 months. Because I do want to build a community. But yeah. Also, when that is full, it's full. All right, hourly closure is done. And we did close above it again. Wow, okay. We did close above this again. So we're really taking the whole spectrum today of manipulation to the next level. Because we literally swapped the highs and the lows before we were making the real move right now at the moment. And yeah, that's pretty significant actually, if you think about it from that perspective. You have to take out both sides first. I guess we're back about the point of control. Any 5-minute closure above the very high is a long again. Okay, that's what it is. Like, you can't short this. Very high. Wow. What a reaction. Rejection, I could better say. Wow, look at the rejection. What a market today, guys. What an open. What an open. We failed to close above the very hour high, which indicates that we're not there yet. It pretty much indicates that we are not fully there, because otherwise we would have definitely closed above it. We're not there yet, though. We haven't closed below yet. But it was a strong rejection, that's for sure. Yeah, because a lot of people are seeing the high and then the lower low, right? So they're trying to get in here. What a rejection, my friends. So how would the trade usually look like? Usually it would have been a trade that we had initially. So before it was like kind of waiting for the retest. When we started the stream, it was kind of waiting for the retest to see, can we retest the value area and reject positively and continue to push higher? Right, and just follow up with the trend, right? Continue doing something like that. Then we took out the lows, tapped into the next low volume node, bounced from it, failed to break above the very high again. Now getting rejected at it again. So without a proper closure above it, long continuations are very hard. This is actually one thing I learned from Fabio Valentini. This is one of my friends, Fabio Valentini, the Italian mafia. And it's so much cleaner to trade above the very high than it is to trade below it, long. In terms of probability and win rate, it's so much higher. Hello, bro. Is that trading stream account your only account? Nope. Obviously, it's not my only account, but it's an account that we can use. I was like, what is like a realistic number that we can use, right? To start with, to reach like 100K. So I'm not gonna go and like do like $100 to 100K challenge, because it will just not make sense. You have to aggressively scale. Otherwise, it just takes a longer period of time, right? So it's like around 5K, maybe a bit more, around that area. I think is a good start. Are you Italian? Well, look at my name. I'm half Italian, though. I'm half Italian. I'm accepted in the Italian community, okay? I'm accepted. But I'm also a little bit of a bastard at the same time, so yeah. All right, we do have a nice close about the VWAP, so that is good. Okay. We just need to close above the very area. Georgelina, my granddad was called Lorenzo. Nice. I stopped drinking coffee in the morning. I actually feel much. I stopped drinking coffee in the morning, and I actually feel much worse. So let me order this right now. Strong rejection, man. Wow. That's not a long confirmation. That is not a long confirmation, that's for sure. We had to close above it. We didn't, unfortunately. It's a chop session today. Taking out the previous daily highs, taking out the daily lows. Trying to re-break the daily highs. Now holding on at the point of control, but not closing above the very area. So it is a tricky day. Keep in mind, it is the weekly open, of course. The weekly open is set to trap the most traders and leave them running with confusion. for the next days ahead of us. So you need to have the right confirmation here, because otherwise you're going to be either stuck if you don't be careful. I don't want to sell though. No, I'm not looking to sell. Too many signals are pleading for yeah, pretty much buys. It's same for Bitcoin, by the way, for the people that are looking at Bitcoin right now as well. Maybe some of you guys do. But Bitcoin right now at the moment, okay, is doing something very similar. Okay, very, very similar. And actually what Bitcoin is doing, it's kind of creating some sort of channel at the value area. This could still break out. Okay. Oh. This could still break out and tap into the, you know, the highs. It could, definitely could. It's just not going to be, you know, the easier one. It's trying to trap a lot of traders right now. Create a lot of uncertainty and then whoop, make the move. What were the tools that you say can dramatically improve your trading? You know the tool, man. You know the one and only. It's the one and only VP, aka the VAR profile. Orderflow is great. It's an amazing additional confirmation though. Like, it's really good. It's amazing. But I would never use this as a single tool. I would always look at the VAR profile first, and then I would second place the order flow on the lower time frame. DMs with hi Lorenzo, I've been reading your book and part is COT data. Correct. Do you still use those reports? Yes. Only problem is that if you are day trading, yeah, we can have a bullish bias, okay? Macro-wise, we can be bullish on the macro on gold because of an X reason, right? Large traders are heavily long on gold, for example, now. And all the retail traders are shorting, for example, right? That's like a major macro signal, bullish signal. However, that doesn't mean that on our streams we can't go short, if that makes sense, because sometimes the market gives us a short setup on the lower time frame, right? So something like that. Yeah, there's not going to be a clean session. That's what I can tell you already. So there are two things we can do. We can either just wait for the closure above and go in aggressive, or we have to properly break out and hope for a retest. But like, will there be a retest is the question. What happens if price breaks down again and we never get our long confirmation? And then price has to come back down towards the point of control of the previous day, right? And it has to break down towards the 45.82, come back into the previous range, the low volume node below. This is a major level, major zone. That's a zone that I would be much more aggressive for longs. But again, it's a strong rejection, man. Wow. And again, I still don't trust this for shorts, by the way, just so you guys know that. Okay. You can see those wicks, you can show me those wicks, but I still don't trust it. This is pretty common when we are like on. This is a typical situation today where we are, let's say, in higher time frame supply, right? Right here, okay. That we just tapped into, and lower time frame or intraday strong uptrend, okay. That is kind of the situation that we are that we're dealing with. Would you consider a long on the very low? Usually not. No, because your risk reward is going to be off. You don't know if you're going to get rejected for the control. You don't know where really to put your stop loss, because the low itself doesn't make much sense. And the high is also something we can break. So the very low here is not a long that I'm willing to take either. Jeremiah says, I understand that, but sometimes the chart just tell you what to do because of the drawings. Yeah, if it's something that you've tested, right, and you know works, then I'm 100% in for that. If you feel, if it's more like feeling based, the market is really good at setting traps. When would you take very low long? If you would reclaim it, and we had a deeper pullback, you would reclaim it eventually. You see, we're already getting supported at this as well here. Every time you think, oh, this is gonna drop, it does not drop. You see that? It's not coming down either. Bitcoin is at a level, guys, an interesting level right now. Usually don't take any trades around sorry, Bitcoin, but like it looks like super good. Super good. I know it looks choppy, but like at the same time, it looks like we have one more leg up here right now. Also not a bad entry area either, because that would be something like this, and literally target the highs here. I would feel relatively safe taking a trade like this. And targeting those highs sitting at the 78, sorry. 78. But yeah. On gold right now, we're kind of in the middle of nowhere. Keep following out the point and control right now. Also for the day, I think it's important to watch the daily as well, not just the range. Yeah, receiver can break above the very high. The point of control is shifted. This is why gold is a hard time breaking down, because of the fact that we're also in a low vibe area here. The best thing for gold is just to break down though. For us, it will be the best situation. Or being close back above here with some volume. Yeah. What I'm kind of like seeing now at the moment is that when you closed above it, we're still not below. You still have 7 minutes for this 15-minute candle to close. We have a lot of support here. Okay. A lot of sellers are trying to short now. The dollar has arrived at a key level. Yeah, I'm happy that we stayed out for now, to be honest. Because in terms of clear setups, I don't see any clear setups here that I'm like, wow, excited about, unless we break down or unless we break out. What do you think of the NQ? Man, let's have a look. I have to do a deep dive into that, man. It's been a while. I mean, pretty similar, no? Let's take the highs. Let's take the initial high here. Okay. Let's take the previous week. Below the point of control of the previous week, we're in a gap. We will face a lot of resistance here. Yeah, so what have we done since the open today? We swapped the highs and the lows. Pretty much, we opened up with a breakout and moved down, a retracement. Rejected very high. So yeah, we are facing a lot of resistance here. Obviously, this has to do with the higher time frame. But I would not say it's looking weak, because you would see something completely different here. It looks much more like an absorption. We're actually now testing the hourly bottom here. You see that? Most of the volume in this previous hourly candle was traded below. And it was not traded above. So when we would really see when you really see reversals in the market, like bearish reversals, usually it's the other way around. Usually it's more volume traded up here, less below here. Okay? So this just invites a lot of people to sell straight into support. And that's why I'm not a big fan of selling here. At all. Okay? Well, I think selling is very risky. And looking at the highs of the hourly, these are sitting right there. Yeah. So if you are selling, I just want to be aware of the fact that most of the volume of the previous hourly candle is traded there. Okay, and not above there. Okay. So if this would flip bullish, then it's gonna for sure take out the hourly highs. Okay. The previous hourly highs, sorry. Because there's nothing there that could like stop gold from getting there if it flips. There's a low volume node at 4603. Yeah, there is one indeed, right? 4596. Okay, down to like 4590. Yeah, I think in this range, for me, being patient is the most important rule right now. Because like you have sellers that are trying to break it, but you have a lot of support as well. We swept both sides of the market, and the volume is coming down here a little bit. Okay. So I think this is going to be like this is a little bit of a consolidation market where gold is you know, building its wave, building its momentum for the week. After sweeping the early buyers and sellers from, you know, yesterday, Friday, sorry, and then today, this morning, the people that went long at the open got stopped out pretty much immediately. Because some people do that, right? They think gold is bullish. They wait for the open. They buy at the open, right? Where are they gonna put their exit? Right below, right? So you have both sides taken out right now, and now the market is just setting up for yeah, it's trying to set itself up for like let's say a bigger move. Okay. That setup yesterday that we marked out from Friday, that trade right there, that was actually that one had a 73% win rate. That setup has a 73% win rate. It's actually very high probability setup. That one right here that you saw there, okay, the CME right there in a bullish trend, okay, in a bullish trend, that's very important, okay, in a short-term really bullish uptrend right there. Also a 70, I need to look at the data here 1 second. Something in the 70s as well. $68 win rate. So these are all like very high probability setups right there. You think, oh, that's not much, 70%. Well, that's actually a lot. That means out of 10 trades, you win 7. And the risk reward is very, very high on average on those setups as well. So some wonderful setups right there last week, actually. The CME play was very good. And of course, then the pullback from the previous daily, in the previous daily POC, right there, where we pulled back into this. And we tapped into the low volume node right there at the very high. Not the POC, the very high, sorry. This area right there, super nice. So these are these are two very important setups we trade. And yeah, 2 out of the 6 setups actually trade in the gold hybrid trading system elite. So that are actually proven setups, right? They're not like sporadic. They're not based on feeling. They're actually really they're real setups. They're tested. They work. And no, they don't win every time because not a single setup does win all the time. But that's not the point. Clearly, that's not the point, right? It's about, does these setups over time make you money? And right here, don't really have one of those setups right now appealing. The only way I would say there is, or there could be one, if price does decide to either break down, get to a huge gap and hold support at the bottom, which is what we all want, because the pullback setups are giving you by far for longs always the best possible risk to reward place, right? There's no doubt about that. And or we have a reclaim above the very high. Okay, it's more of a scalping based trade where you get in and you get out and you manage it very aggressively. But what you can expect there sometimes is those squeezes, those impulse trades. They're fine to trade as long as it's managed well. I actually sent you guys an email. I'm not sure if you guys have received it, to explain you those setups as well here, so you can actually learn from it as well. Maybe you've seen it, maybe you haven't seen it. But I'm actually explaining a bunch of our setups through email. Okay, so if you have downloaded my book, you can get those emails as well here. And yeah, one of those emails is exactly that. Okay, is what we call the low volume pullback. Pretty much explain the exact setup, how it works, and why. Okay, so yeah, you see that? We're not willing to drop though, right? We're clearly not willing to come down because of this zone right here, right? We're not willing to come down because the previous hourly candle shows that the most volume was traded at the bottom and not at the top. So a lot of people are going to short here, and not knowing that that's actually the case, right? And then they expect some flush out, but this because they see those wicks. And this is such a typical trap, guys. Oh my God, it's so typical, where you have those, you know, the typical higher high, lower low, lower high entry, right? And you see those wicks being created right there, right? I would not be surprised. Okay, I'm not saying that this is a great setup right now, long, but like I said before, I would not be surprised if this takes out the highs. I would actually totally not be surprised at all. Okay. If it's gonna try to go for it. I'm not saying that you should believe me and you should just trust that. But the market loves to set traders up, to trap traders today. And you can see it in the market itself right there. You can just see how highs, lows, new shorties enter. Where are they gonna put their exits? Above. The only way is an actual closure below. Then you're gonna get a quick flush. Bro, I can't receive a book. Try a different email if you can. Look in your spam folder, your promotions folder, and wait around 20 minutes or so. Sometimes it takes forever, I know. What time is it? It's 9 in the morning, 9:40. Yeah, we're gonna see. We're gonna give it like 15 minutes. Just turned 18 today. Any advice for life? Yeah, well, stop jerking off, number one. Doesn't make any sense. It's a waste of time. Start your trading journey now, because if you do this for the next X amount of time, then you're still young and experienced, There's nothing better than being young and experienced. So you have an amazing life ahead of you, my friend. Congratulations. I wish I was that smart at your age, watching streams like this. They didn't exist, by the way, when I did it, when I was 18. But I was definitely more stupid. That's for sure, at 18. Yeah? So congratulations. You live in an abundant time period where you could do and achieve whatever you would like in this life. So take advantage of the opportunities the internet provides you right now. Because it's a time of abundance. No excuses here. I was way more stupid at 18. Keep in mind, man, we didn't have AI, okay? I didn't have AI. None of that existed, right? Clearly didn't. Internet, okay, yeah, trading was there, but it was still old. Old people were trading, right? You know what I mean? Like it wasn't all like, well, as advanced as it is now. So, not saying that I'm old, okay? I'm not young though. So if you're young right now, you have all the opportunities. There is that gap, that informational gap with AI and everything that you can take advantage of right now. Before it gets taken from you. Before it gets regulated. So take advantage of it. Bro, send your Discord link in the chart. I only have one private community. That's the Gold Hybrid Trading Elite. Okay. We'll be streaming a lot of New York sessions in there. We have our sessions in there, right? We have our complete roadmap in there. We have an amazing group of people, that's for sure, in there. And it's a very small group. So it's the only thing that we have from a community standpoint. For my updates, just follow Telegram. It's free Telegram. You know, you see all my results live. Yeah, you see all my results from the account. You see my videos. The free videos that I upload, by the way, are in there too. About the Vine profile. So if you want to learn about that, you can actually click on some videos in my Telegram here. Learning about the Vine profile. Okay. How to set it up. How to do it correctly. How to use it correctly. How to mark it out correctly. What are the settings? The why. Why do we use the Vine profile? Right? Things like that. So if you're not able to afford anything serious, then you should not do that. You should watch the live streams. You should download my book, but for free. You should study and read the book. You should be in the Telegram, watch that content. And I think you have a really good foundation from there to start with and to build a first process for yourself. Yeah, so what's happening on the daily? Let's look at the daily as well here. Very choppy session here. POC is coming down a little bit. Okay. Like I said, if you are shorting, then you're gonna feel a little bit uncomfortable right now. at Lorenzo Corrado chart. Is this your account or someone faking? It's someone faking. Yeah, it's someone faking. Also, guys, please be careful, man, with these Telegram groups, man, or these. Number one, I'm not live on I am not live on TikTok right now. Okay, so if you're watching me from TikTok right now, that's not me. I mean, it is me, but not me. Like the chart you see is not my chart, I guess. The link in the description is not my community. Okay. Please, the only way to figure out if you're in the right Telegram group is by clicking on the link in the description and click on that link right there. That's the only way from YouTube. That's it. Nothing else, okay? I don't sell you a copy trading platform where you have to sign up and deposit $10,000 on, okay? People are willing to do that. And I know that people are willing to do that because they message me to confirm, hey, I'm willing to sign up. I'm almost ready to deposit, but can you please confirm it's you? I'm like, bro, come on. Please don't fall for that. Okay? I just joined your Telegram with 13,000 subscribers. Yeah, that's what I mean. That's a fake group. Sorry. More subscribers doesn't mean it's real. That's the problem because we started our Telegram so late. We only have 7,000 subscribers. We started it like 6 weeks ago. That's the reason why. Your accent sounds South African. It's probably because I'm half Dutch. Maybe that's what you're hearing. You know the South Africans have some Dutch origins. You know that, right? Or at least we speak the same language, similar language, actually. So that's why. And 6 Vider says I'm short from 4624 and I moved stops to break even. It's good that you put your stop to break even. Yeah. Yeah, it's good that you put your stops to break even in my opinion. Yeah, so the conclusion right now is that actually what we're just doing, if we just remove the volume profile, we remove everything, right? We are just creating what we call a new area of balance, right? So we have a new area of balance right now. We're in a range. Okay, we have formed a lower time frame range since yesterday, pretty much post New York session or late New York until now. We have been in a range, okay? And what we care about is not the range. We care about the value area inside of the range, okay? And you can actually see right now that gold is already pushing back up again. And a lot of people were thinking about selling here. And now gold is trying to break out. to the upside because it's trapping sellers to enter short, yet gold is not willing to let go yet. We will find some resistance now again at this current level. Okay. But we already came back up to the 23. And now we're heading to the, to the value or high again. So it could be that we're going to stay inside of this. And it's just going to become a bit of a messy session. And then I think the big move for today will probably happen in New York, you know, or something like that, where today is just the setup for the New York session for the bigger move to, let's say, happen. But you can already see how a lot of sellers stepped in. And where are the sellers exiting? Maybe there, right? Maybe above this highs, right? And we're just gonna see if we can hold this support and squeeze back up at 27. And that's what I mean. So now the candle flips bullish, and you can see this candle is all red, and that means that more people went short than long in this hourly candle. Okay, so that's an important nuance. A lot of people went short here, but the candle is green. Why? Because it tapped into the previous hourly candle, POC, because no volume was traded here. Most of the volume was traded at the bottom. And this is why this is not a selling signal. Okay? And this is why we said before already, listen, the chances that we're trying to go for the highs is bigger. That doesn't mean it gives us a clean long setup, but it just tells us not to short it. If that makes sense. And this is the outcome of it. Right? So there goes your sell buys. If the volume would have been the other way around, so let's say the volume would have been traded there and not below, and we would tap into it and we would come down, it would have probably been a trade with a push down with much more force. Yo says that he shorted his house. Yeah. No, this is not bearish in my opinion. Okay, the hourly candle is going to close soon again. If it's going to close like this, then all the sellers are now officially trapped in their position here at the bottom. That means that we close back above the VWAP, so we kind of close above the VWAP again. Right, we will reclaim it again with more force this time. The hourly shows that there will be a lot of sellers in this candle that are stuck in a position. Okay. At the same time, we will be closing above the value area in 10 seconds. Okay. And yeah, pretty much showing us that buyers are still in control. Okay. I think that is like the big conclusion here, is that buyers are still in control and that sellers were trying to short it, and that it looked very inviting because of the wicks that you saw after the higher high, right? A lower low gets created, then people look at a lower high, and then people look at the wicks and they see, oh, there is a rejection, so that is bearish, so I need to short it. because we're gonna dump. No, we're not. And then it holds the very low and the Sunday open. And it closes above the VWAP and it invites all the sellers to step in and trap them and take them out. That's the condition we're trading today. Actually, now that we have closed above it right here, in my opinion, okay, it is actually a bullish signal. And these highs can be targeted. Is it a clean setup? No. Is it the biggest setup? No. Does it make more sense than selling? Yes. There we go. Yeah, it's probably going to take out the highs. I don't see any clear setups to be honest in this session, guys, that are like, wow, high convincing. But I can tell why shorting was no option here. And how many shorters are now stuck in their position, and why it's so important to be informed about the market before actually making a decision. Okay. And this was in my opinion a typical I feel that the market is going down setup, right? Instead of actual logical, confirmation setup or whatever the case may be here, where you can see, okay, this has an actual probability of coming down. We could clearly see that this was just not the case. And now we're gonna go and take out the highs. Yeah, I think that's gonna be the next logical step. There's no other way. Our candle is closing as well right now, so it's pretty much the most logical move that you're going to take out the hourly highs. These sellers right now that are actually here in their position are now stuck, are now trapped in their position here. That's going to cause support because they're going to fight, they're going to exit their trade. That's going to cause even more long pressure. You know what I mean? So this is actually a really good moment now. The hourly candle has flipped bearish. The highs are not taken out yet. Any short pullback now gives us, in my opinion, the best probability for another try. How do we see the volume like you? This is the Xau charts, my friend. Yeah? This is the Xau charts right here. Okay, so now you have kind of the pullback scenario. Now you have the hourly closure right there. I think it's just time for a quick scalp. That's it. So let's see if we can do that. And target the highs. That's it. Target the highs right there. Taking out the previous hourly highs, or the hourly highs, sorry, the highs of that session, the session highs. We have pretty much every bullish confirmation now possible for a quick scalp. So if this is going to be followed through, that should be the follow through in my opinion. Talking about probability here, right? Talking about the potentials. Come on. Stop loss can go and break even already. Easy. That's easy. Okay, so it's risk free. Now let's take out the highs. And risk free. That's it. Let me get some tea. I really thought I ordered coffee, but like, where is it? Did I actually order my coffee or not really? Oh, it's right now, right here. Give me 1 second. sorry, $761 added to the bank. Sorry guys, I was just talking for 1 minute without this. We could go for the highs here, taking out the previous highs right there. Okay. But like I said, this is a quick scalping setup today, with high probability. So this is why you wait. This is why we're patient here. Okay. And this is why it's about probability. It's something that you know, that you trust, a setup that you understand. And it's not always about buying low and selling high, right? It's not always about that. It's about understanding the market. Who's stuck in the position? Why? Where is the momentum headed, right? What is the story? What is the setup? How do you understand the setup? Well, we trade above the value area high. Why? Because we know that the value area is where the most volume is traded. If price trades above that, there's a reason why we're there. If you then can understand who is trapped and who's stuck in a position, then you also understand that this is a great counterintuitive setup right there, where you could say, okay, a lot of sellers were trapped in a position. So that actually fuels the move to the upside even further. And it's not a big trade, but it's a trade without drawdown, zero drawdown, right? And it's a 100 pip trade, almost. Okay, slightly less actually. Now I'm looking at it right there. But yeah, I hope that makes sense. All right, I hope that makes sense. Didn't realize you entered. I mean, this time I was like really clear though. Let's be honest, right? You saw me literally entering in front of you. Like, I mean, what can I do? What else can I do than that? What else can I do? High is also taken out with extra confirmation now. So the main reason why I took profits earlier when I saw it hesitating at the highs is just because of the fact that we are in higher time for supply. That's pretty much the only reason. Because otherwise I would have not done this at all. But you never know. When you're in higher time for resistance, you never really know. You need to really take advantage of that short-term momentum and take what you can get, in my opinion. Right there. Right? This is that daily supply zone that we're in right now at the moment, which is actually sitting right here. And this is what we are tapping into again, right? So for the people that were upset about Friday not being clear, then here you go, right? I have nothing against trading live. Okay, total profit 70,356. Account size 24,379. Okay, so by the end of the week, we'll post another update, right, in regards to the results, the data, etc., etc., etc. And then we keep you guys in the loop regards to the results of the challenge account right now, what we're building here, what we're doing here. And that's how you grow, how we grow it, right? Nice and steady. So what was the big lesson of this stream? Number one, obviously I'm a bit careful with longing too deep into supply because it could go higher, of course. But I'm also not afraid to not take longs because gold is still bullish, right? So it's important to take those longs, to take those quick scalps if needed with high conviction, high probability. But being patient was an absolute must here. Why? Because we were operating in a condition which was very choppy. So we had a range, we had a manipulation at the top, we had the manipulation at the bottom, right? And then what? Price came back. Now, what's gonna happen here? This is just, think about it from this perspective, right? You see a higher high and a lower low. Then a lot of people are seeing those wicks getting formed. Now, what's gonna happen? All those people are gonna sell, okay? All those people are gonna sell into gold reversing, and then gold comes down a little bit, inviting more people to sell, okay? And then price breaks back above the value area. Is that then bullish or is that then bearish? And this is the value area, right? The area where the most firm is traded. The sellers step in, you create a lower high, right? Price is short, it breaks above and it sets in a closure above the value area. That is just bullish, right? All the sellers that entered were hoping for price to come down, predicting the top and then failing. Where are you gonna put your stop loss? Above the highs. So you go against that. And there's nothing wrong with buying high and targeting that, or quickly trying to get into a quick scalp, an impulse trade, where you can quickly get in, quickly get out with no drawdown. It's almost free money, understanding this, right? In this example, because it truly is. Because when you look at the 1 hour and you see that all the volume was traded at the bottom and not at the top, you know, right? This is all to trick traders to step in. You know that when that hourly closure came in here, that the most sellers were stuck at the bottom. And that is what happened. The hourly candle opened up, price stepped into those sellers, and that's why we immediately pressed long. Because the moment you tap into those sellers, these sellers are gonna exit their trade. And then it causes more buying pressure and more volume and more momentum. And that momentum is what you're seeing now. It's not just about long people entering longs, it's also about people exiting shorts, which means you have to buy, right? And that combination is a deadly combination. And that's why you want to immediately buy, because you break out of all those factors. You break out of the value area, you close above trapped sellers, you have a clear target, even though it's a small target, but it's a high conviction trade. It's so much better for me to enter, let's say, to enter here than enter here, okay? And you might say, yeah, but why? Because, you know, this is a bigger move. Yeah, it is a bigger move, but it's a move with less probability. Because what if price respects those highs right here? We don't break above the value area high, all right? And it sells off into the point of control and it breaks down lower. Right, so you have a trade with much less conviction. Your stop loss is going to be much bigger. And the risk to reward is actually not even going to be that beneficial. Whereas here, yes, you can immediately take advantage of the momentum with no drawdown and get a quick scalp with, you know, 5 times higher conviction, right? So for me personally, I prefer sometimes to be more patient and to snipe trades like this in a condition like this than to, predict the bottom, if that makes sense. Yeah, let me know if that makes sense for you guys in the chat. Type in a yes or something like yes, I understand this, because it's very important to sometimes sit on our hands really long and be in the trade for 1 minute. It's just how sometimes things go, right? Overall, big impulse now though. Like it's actually much bigger than that. And also I expected the highs to be taken out, but not like a strong follow through. But again, this is what the market loves to do, right? The market loves to make people very confused and then make the real move. It's just what it is, right? Yeah. It's just what it is. Yeah. I'm on a buy trade, but I don't know where to exit. Oh, if you're still in, then you can ride the wave. But we're heading deeper and deeper into that supply now. So yeah, do take that in consideration. Okay. As we went deeper and deeper into that supply zone, you will we'll probably see a little bit more like that. Okay. I think the big lesson of besides this scalp, right, or taking out the previous highs, if you held on to the previous highs right here, for example, okay, a very good trade if you entered there and you exited there with very clean traction. But I think the biggest lesson was to avoid shorting here. I think that was the big lesson of this stream, is to avoid shorting when things look too obvious, pretty much. And this looked a bit too obvious, right? Where you saw the high, the low, the lower high, and the wicks, and then not the follow through, right? So it gives people room, that people that just look at the gold chart or just quickly look at gold and they see that, they think, oh, this is gonna dump, right? And then it does not dump. It does not come down, and it does find support here. And then you are already short. And then you want to hold on because you can't close your trade. And then you're going to say, if it gets there, I'm going to get out. And then it gets there. So shorting is one of the big things to avoid now. But I have nothing against counter trend trading, by the way, at all. But it has to make sense, you know? Charlie says, what do you think about bearish inside bars on gold? Bearish inside bars on gold. You don't have to donate, by the way, my friend. There's no need to donate. I don't know even, I think it's possible to donate, but you don't have to donate, okay? But I do appreciate your message. What do you think about bearish inside bars? You know, I think they are okay to use in the right context. I would never use something where I would just look at it and at a single pattern or whatever. It always comes in conjunction with other confirmations, right? If I can't explain the story of what I see and why I do and see what I do, for example, then it's pretty obvious and clear that that we're looking at this right there, okay? Made 1.5k, 700, he doesn't hold winners. It also depends on the condition. And I'm very happy that you made 1.5k, my friend. Congratulations. I'm very happy for you. I hope you liked it. I hope you liked the trade. The one box, best books for trading and mindset is in your personal opinion. For me personally, I actually really like the books from Larry Williams. I know it's not about it's not really about you know, the best strategy or the best way of you know, the best trading strategy or whatever the case may be. But what I like about Larry Williams is that he explains how the market actually works, right? How and why people are getting trapped in a position. You know, what's the reason? Like how the market dynamics work from that perspective. So you get a deeper insight in that. And I think that's going to help you with your psychology a lot more. Okay. I know you have like the Mark Douglas, right? Trading in the Zone. You have all those books, Market Wizards and stuff. You have some really good books out there. But like, what I like about Larry Williams is that he can explain it to you like, you know, like we're 5-year-olds and we're sitting in his class in kindergarten and we're listening to him talking about the markets and how it actually works. And I think he's one of the best in explaining that, in my opinion. So I would say read some of his books. Okay. Larry Williams has a couple of really good books out there that I really like. So long-term secrets in short-term trading, trade stocks and commodities with the insiders is my favorite. So definitely listen to that one. Yeah. Hold winning trades, man. You can still enter the market. I think there are multiple new entries coming already, to be honest. So in throughout different sessions today as well. It depends how we look at the market. When we're in higher type of resistance, we tend to look more at scalps rather than holding. And let price do its thing. Other days we hold and we make $4,000 like we did Friday, right? So it depends. It just depends on the. It depends on the trade. So right now, if you look here at the market right here, if you look at the 15-minute, the previous highs are taken out. Sellers right now are all stuck at the bottom. All that red you see here now is becoming or will become support regardless, even if price does decide to move back. It will be very hard for gold to break now that support here because these sellers became fuel to the move to the upside right here. And it was pretty evident that the market wants to push price and get price a bit higher right now at the moment. Most of the volume is now happening at the top of each candle. So this is exactly what you want to see. The volume is happening at the top and not at the bottom. Right, but that also means that yeah, the momentum is very, very strong. But at some point, you will see in higher time supply a little bit more of a deeper retracement. Still, I think we still could see retracement though, because the fact that if you look at the hourly, this 4-hour candle is going to close soon, and I think that's where we will see the next 4-hour candle giving us a good indication of where we stand right now. Yeah, kind of already happening right now at the moment. Yeah. And it just has to do with the supply zone, I guess. We're just in that higher time frame supply, so that's why the targets couldn't be too big today. Sorry, guys. We're back now. It's working? Yeah. Okay. Yo, the computer crashed. No idea what happened, man. Computer crashed. My computer went off, then it went back on. It reset it itself, and boom! Before you know it, we were offline for a second. Okay. Damn. No idea what happened there. Okay. Anyways. Welcome back. Okay. That was interesting. Anyways, gold is bullish, clearly right, trapping sellers into the market right now. I think this is something we have to put in our journal. Okay. And also it will be extremely important for the New York session I'm going to do later on with the elite, that everything is tracked from that perspective right there as well. So we'll see what we can do there. Yeah. But again, why didn't I hold on to the trade too long today? Whenever we are in like higher time frame supply, okay, because this is like a higher time frame supply, so this is what we were talking about, right? Price will face a lot of resistance here, okay? So we have a major zone, and that zone is sitting right there, okay? Unless we break the most important level, the 4,650, is actually a level that we really want to pay attention to from a higher time frame perspective as well, because yeah, this is where pretty much this was pretty much the last time it was created before that major sell-off that we saw back in May. Remember when we had the NFP, okay? We had the NFP, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Could be wrong though, but we had that major push down here, and this is where that resistance came back into, okay? So yeah, that is something that we have been seeing right now at the moment, okay? Us tapping into higher time frame resistance right here, all right? So right now at the moment here, you can see that we are trying to dip deeper and deeper into the problem with the supply zone is you never really know how far and how deep it will go, right? So that's why it's better to not be too, aggressive and holding on to things like too much right there. Okay. Let me know if you guys can hear me. I think it should be fine now, right? Right now? It should be fine. Okay, perfect, perfect. Okay. Cool. Okay, yeah, so that's the main reason. Okay, where I just wanted to get in and out a quick scalp at the highest probability possible. That's it. Zero drawdown. Just get in and get out. That's the only thing I'm looking for right now. That was the only way where I was like very comfortable about getting in and out. This is just, in my opinion, almost a no-brainer. Okay, entering at the breakout here to target those highs right there. Okay. If price then moves higher, great. At some point, we want to see retracement, see how price reacts and behaves, and go from there. But keep in mind, we're moving deeper into supply. Okay, so at some point, I would love to see a little bit of a deeper retracement as well here. That would be nice to witness. We didn't got a deep retracement at all today, right? We just got like a manipulation top, bottom, and then the real move started. At some point, if we, let's say, get towards this level and we break above a key level here, there are moments where I reach 4, 5 to 1 setups, you know, that are huge trades as well. Okay, where you make $5,000, $6,000 on a trade, for example, $4,000, $5,000, $6,000. But it all depends on the context, I think, that we're looking at right now. Okay, so what will be next for me? If price right now at the moment, I have to restart the order flow. So let's see. There we go. If it's working. It is working. Yeah, I think we're good now, right? Okay. All right, so yeah, the main thing right now about this area here is that this is just a range breakout. At some point, I think price has to just continue to drive up here. It could be driving higher and it could be not wanting to come down. It totally depends right now on the situation when it comes down to, let's say, the chart itself, but we are deeper into supply. I think the big impulse will be, again, the previous highs, which is going to be probably the shift of the volume profile. So let's take the day here. You can see it's already moving up. Okay. And the value area high is shifting higher. Now, there is a big chance that price will keep doing that, right? That the value area will continue to push. And that at some point, price will have to come down again for another retracement. And then we're not going to get the cleanest price action in London or whatever, just because of the fact that we are in that higher time frame resistance at this current moment. Okay, so if we're kind of making a bigger retracement, then everything kind of changes. But because you're in higher time of resistance and the intraday is still bullish, you don't want to wait for the higher time frame to flip bearish, because you could be waiting for a long time to go short. It's better to just keep longing, like we talked about today, right? Keep longing until you're invalidated. And until then, just keep looking at any retracement inside of the value area of today, right? So you open up the volume profile at 6 p.m. until the current price, and you keep watching price pulling back to an area where you could retrace into, which then hold support, retest, and in that case gives you potentially another setup right around there. Okay, another potential pullback. If price does decide to break below, okay, and it does decide to break inside of the value area again, and you don't get a confirmation here, then just be patient. Let price develop, let it do its thing, wait for the next level, and go from there. If you trade below the previous daily point of control, now we're bearish, because now we are looking at a daily supply zone. Price takes out the point of control of yesterday. We leave the value area of yesterday. Now shorts are actually safer. So when people say you buy low and sell high, it doesn't have to be the case, you know? You can sell low and buy high. It just depends on the context, if that makes sense, right? So we wait for price to take out the lows, and then there is a chance that we actually can move lower from there with more conviction. Whereas right now, I think it's either buys or nothing, pretty much, right? Either buys or, buys or nothing, I would say. All right? All that makes sense, my friends. Let me know if some people took the long in the chat. Did some people took the long today in the chat? Let me know. TP so early, it's okay, don't worry about it. It is always what if, what I could have made, what about this, what I could have done better. It's good that you think this way, but yeah. It's about what process do you follow and why, right? What is the process behind your trade? We don't trade upon feeling here. We don't trade. We don't take a trade because we feel like we want to take a trade, or we feel because we see some top wicks being created. We see the market is selling. It wants to go down. It's about what type of setup are you trading and how do you label this trade setup, okay? And if you have labeled this setup, you can quantify it. And if you can quantify it, you now know how effective it actually is. And if you know how effective it is, you now know what kind of risk you can apply to that, right? And if we can keep doing that, then we will build our account to 100K live. Wow. You'll never get bored on this channel, that's for sure. There's always something happening here. I can guarantee you that one. You have no idea what just happened, okay? I wish I could show you what happened here, all right? But you're not gonna believe it. The reason why my computer crashed, right, was just because I thought my computer just crashed. But then I realized my power socket literally catched fire. Okay? And I'm not joking when I say that. My power socket literally catched fire. And I had to replace it quickly. And I saw the smoke coming out of this thing right there. And yeah, my computer went off for that reason. So it's like, okay. I have no idea what happened here, but I'm gonna fix this. But of course, I'm so dedicated to the live streams that no matter what, in smoke, in fire, okay, I still want to be there for you guys. So yeah, no matter what, we're gonna be here anyways. But this is of course another beautiful story. No water in my PC or no coffee or tea. No, the power socket actually catched fire today. Okay. So anyways, no worries, no worries. We're good to go again. Okay, I'll fix everything after. Everything after, not now. Okay. Everything after. Okay. Let's finish with what we started right here. I think it's very important to cover this. And then go from there. You know what I mean? Yes. In the meantime, I do want to stand up. So let me just fix this real quick. I feel like I want to stand up right now. Oh. Yo. Bye-bye. 1 second. Just making sure that nothing blows up here. Oh. Let's see if that works now. It literally smells. Okay. So be careful if it actually does something bad. Anyways, okay. So, conclusion right here, I think right now at the moment, we already have the pullback here. You see that? So this is why, and like I can't really predict, right? And this is something I think is important to mention here. Like I can't always really predict the tops, especially when we're dealing with like higher time frame supply, higher time frame resistance right now. And this is a good example of that, is that it's very hard to predict. I can tell you that the highs are going to be taken out, right? I can tell you that most likely we're going to take out the highs. If it starts to struggle and it pulls back and it then takes out the highs, you break even and then you don't make money. So the best thing that I came to a conclusion is if we are operating inside of higher time frame resistance, which we are right now, daily supply, I'm not going to sit there and hold on to trades. For me, it doesn't really make much sense statistically speaking to do that, because it just has not been working for me, okay? Whereas I know that if I can get into a setup, which is not the biggest trade in the world, but it's a trade with like high conviction, with almost no drawdown, I'm willing to take that at any given moment, in any condition, okay? In a choppy condition or whatever, whenever I see a setup and that setup was sellers trapped, right? A fake out of the very low, reclaim above the very high, and then a continuation to take out the highs right there. That's like a clean setup, a clean trade, right? So anything in regards to that to me is an amazing trade. Now you can already see, because we are in higher time frame supply right now, right here, okay? We're getting rejected, okay? And because we're getting rejected right now, if you were still in your long trade, you are now break even, okay? Because you get into your position and you hope that this will be the next big runner to, let's say, the 4,700 or whatever the case may be. And then it doesn't come down. It doesn't go up anymore. It goes down and you break even. That's very unfortunate. There are situations in the market where you have to take profits, where you have to close your trade early. And there are situations in the market where you can comfortably hold on to your trades, okay? It's understanding the context that really makes the difference for you. So it's all about, once you have quantified your setups, you know what setups you're looking for in the market, you know why you take those setups. It is all about, okay, now what are all the nuances? What is the additional context that comes with that? How do I hold my trades? When do I hold my trades? In what condition do I take profits earlier? And in what condition do I close my trades late? Or do I keep runners open, right? It is truly about understanding all of these different elements, step by step, in order for you to get to a working process, a real trading system, okay? That's what's going to turn you from a trader that makes money now and then, right? And gets into winning trades and losing trades, not really understand why you're winning or why you're losing, into someone who really understands statistics and really learns by experience and improves and optimizes by personal experience as well, right there. Okay, so it's about sometimes sticking to what has been proven to be effective rather than hope. And the last thing I like to be in the market for with you guys is hope. I hate to be in a trade where I hope this or I hope that, or especially when in drawdown, right? That's the worst of the worst. We're hoping that X and Y works, and we're hoping that price comes back down or comes back up or whatever the case may be. And yes, we do get into certain trades sometimes, but that comes predominantly from moments when the volume just comes down significantly right now here. Yes? Okay. So where are we reacting from? We are reacting from the daily supply zone, number one. We're now testing the very high again. Okay? So I'm watching right now what happens here. Let's just do it one more time and see what happens at the very high. And if it's actually worth looking at it one more time. Okay, we're testing the VWAP. We broke below the zone initially, okay? We're testing the VWAP, right? That's the big reason why we're reacting here, which aligns with the very high. Huge drop. Now this is a different signal, okay? So this is what we talked about in terms of why this time we have to be a little bit more careful. And the main reason is because of the fact that now in this case, the most volume is traded at the top right there. Do you see that? And the hourly candle is going to close in about 8 minutes from now, right here. Okay? So if this hourly candle is going to close this time, we have a different situation because now we understand that the most volume is traded at the top here. So that means that the most volume will most likely be a statement, right? We're reacting from higher time frame supply, daily supply here, okay? A lot of buyers stepped in again. In this case, they stepped in at the top, okay? And not at the bottom. The reason why price shoot up was not because of the fact that buyers stepped in aggressively. It was much more about sellers exiting their position, okay? It seems much more like sellers exiting rather than buyers, aggressive buyers entering, if that makes sense. Okay, now we're seeing a lot of buyers at the top right there. Yet all those sellers that are still below are trapped. So we're now in between the box. Okay, we have pretty much the sellers at the bottom and the buyers at the top right now. Okay, so that means it pretty much gives us a new range, I guess. I think we're gonna form some new range right here, where this becomes resistance. And this is kind of becoming support right now at the moment, right? So you're kind of in between those two areas right here. And we could easily do something like this, okay? We could still long and then target the top, for example. Or price is just hovering around. This is the situation we're dealing with now because we're in higher time frame. We're in higher time frame supply pretty much right here, okay? If price loses this level, and when I say this level, I mean this low right here, this box, and we break below the previous hourly lows, the chances that we'll actually drop much lower is just so much bigger, right? Because that means that we're really reacting from the higher time frame supply zone. We actually do break structure, and sellers are back in control. And the most logical level from there will be us pretty much targeting the previous daily point of control, etc., right there. Okay, so yeah, you can see how price reacts now from the value area high, which is not really a surprise that we do, right? That we're reacting from it. It aligns with the VWAP, and the highs right there are where all the sellers or all the buyers stepped in too aggressively, and where you will see a lot of resistance too. Okay, if the market magically doesn't shoot up and breaks the highs in 5 minutes, then we have a closure where most of the volume of this hourly candle is traded at the top for now, I think. Yes, and this will become resistance as well. So it will be hard to target new highs from there, let's say, right? Even though it's a beautiful way to view it. Watching the value area, watching the pullback again, and pretty much seeing how price is reacting from it though. It's actually very nice to watch in real time. Do we hold the buyers or close? I think that if you entered there and you're still in the trade, that this is the level to watch, right? Wait for the hourly closure in 4 minutes, and I would say you could exit at the top. Yeah, I would personally exit. That's my personal opinion, but I'm not here to predict, to make a decision for you. I'm just here to instruct you and to show you what I do and how I take trades and how I exit my trades. And when I decide to enter, when I decide to exit, I can only instruct you about your setup. I cannot tell you exactly always what to do when you're in the trade. And I'm also not allowed to legally do that. You know what I mean? I'm not allowed to legally do that. Not on YouTube, at least. Actually, I'm not allowed to even do that in general. But you get the point. Yeah. Constantine says, always be careful on Mondays and Fridays, in and out fast. It's a very interesting market right there. Definitely today. I have to agree with you. Definitely today. When did we buy? We already bought before at this level right here at the 28. The 28. Okay, we're just looking to see what happens now with the volume here. The problem is that we are now seeing a lot more volume sitting right there. Okay, and this is something that I think is extremely important to watch and pay attention to, because if the most volume is traded at the bottom, okay, at the top, sorry, and not at the bottom, and the candle closes below it, what do you think that shows you? Let me know in the chat. What do you guys think? So one more time, right? If the hourly candle shows you in the order flow right here, okay, that most of the volume was traded at the top, but the closure is below, okay? The closure is below. What does it show you is actually happening, okay? It pretty much shows you that there's an absorption taking place at the top right now of buyers, okay? So buyers are trying to push price higher. And I'm talking about aggressive buyers, people that press market execution buy. And they entered a bit too aggressive at the top, okay? And if the candle then closes below it, okay, then what could happen when price retraces back into that, right? It could give buyers that entered a bit too aggressively the chance to exit risk-free. That causes selling pressure, right? Because if you get rid of your buy, you have to sell. If you get rid of your sell, you have to buy. Because it's a buying and selling market, right? One buy and one sell equals one contract, right? So one market buy versus one limit sell versus one market buy, right? That equals one contract. So that just causes a lot more buying pressure, okay? What was the reason why in the last candle we decided to go long? At the beginning of this candle, we decided to go long. The main reason was because the previous candle right here had most of the volume at the bottom, okay? And not at the top. So we knew that when the candle was flipping bullish here, that the highs were very easy to target. At the same time, when this candle closed, where were the most sellers? At the bottom, right? So what did we turn into support? Those sellers. Why? Because the sellers exited their trades, causing that few move to the upside. So all of this move right here that you see is most likely sellers exiting, and then buyers got FOMO, and then they entered the long at the top. And now they're stuck in their trade, right? So because of that, I think the move happened here. And I think we took our entry at the right moment. I really think. Because right now you can see that we closed below it, okay? And we're now hovering in between the sellers at the bottom and the buyers at the top that are stuck in that position, both of them. So this could turn into a range, okay? Or this could be just a little bit more consolidation. It could also be that the volume is starting to come down right now at the moment, because the fact that it's already 11 p.m. EST right now. And I think that for that reason, the trade that we took was the best trade. And this is kind of a trade where it could go either way, right? You could come up and reject again, or you could, yeah, pretty much come back down and respect support again. We could pretty much formulate a smaller range right now, okay? Obviously, if you close back above the highs, it could result into the continuation, etc. I do see that as well, but that is a maybe, right? You don't know that beforehand, pretty much. It could easily be that we're just going to be trapped or stuck right now, and the market is going to come down, as you can see, and we'll test the value high again, and it will just be a little bit more consolidation from this moment onwards. Okay? Hope this makes sense, my friends. This is just a system that we utilize. We look at the order flow today, okay? But this is not the system that we completely trade. It's not just about order flow. I always say that order flow is not the juice. It's not the end all be all, right? Some people think that, oh, if I start to use order flow, I finally become profitable. Well, the reality is that it doesn't really work like that, okay? The way we have developed the gold hybrid trading system, right, is by understanding different layers, right? We have the higher time frame correlation, right? The macro. What is the dollar doing? How is the macro orientated? What is supply and demand zones? What are like the highest time frame supply and demand zones? Because there is always a larger accumulation or distribution taking place in the market, right? It's not just, the market is only one directional and that's it. No, we're always working with higher time frame supply and demand, the large accumulation distribution. And on the lower time frame, we have something which is called the volume profile, okay? Super powerful. When you combine it and use that in conjunction with good execution and management, then it turns into a process, okay? And if you have then setups that you like, that you understand, and that you have quantified, and you know, this setup has an X% win rate, this setup has an X% win rate in this condition. The more data you have, the better trader you will become, okay? And that is something that we're trying to showcase right now live on the stream. And that is the reason why I am extremely confident that we can build an account together, okay? From around 6K to 100K and potentially even further, but at least live, make this happen in a way where it's consistent and it's not about scaling aggressively. It's not about trying to be and show off with big trades or big lot sizes. It's about that consistent process. And I think that if I can do that live in front of you all, then I think I have done what I wanted to do on my YouTube journey, okay? Because I think that there is no better way of showing something than doing it this way. And even putting me at a disadvantage, because number one, I'm trading in front of thousands of people. Number two, besides trading in front of thousands of people, right, there are also moments where I would love to take a trade in New York, right, or in London session, which I then cannot take because I'm doing it live only, right? So, you know, there are moments in time where I'm kind of in a disadvantage because that means that I only have to look for setups in this session. And, you know, if I can pull that off regardless, being in a disadvantage like that, I think I've done what I had to do on this channel. Okay? I don't see any other way of proving myself than doing it this way. And I want to prove myself for myself, for my system and for what I believe in that we're doing here. Okay? All right. As you can see here, the market is struggling a little bit. I don't think that's really a surprise. I think the market is setting up for consolidation. The volume is coming down a little bit. I think we took the entry at the right moment. And I think that's it for this session right now. Okay. I hope you learned something, man, from what we're doing here and why we're doing what we're doing here. And I hope to see you tomorrow again. Okay. The gold hybrid trading elite will open up to a select few on a Wednesday. Wednesday is our launch day after 8 weeks or 6 weeks of being almost 8 weeks, almost 2 months, okay, of being closed. So we're gonna do that. We're gonna open for a select few again, inviting some new people in our very small community where we trade live with them in the New York sessions now as well, where we have also our full library, real live sessions with me, and of course, educational lectures, everything that you need to know to pretty much get started and to change your trading life forever, I would say. Okay. All right, I'm gonna keep you guys updated, man. Let's watch what gold does throughout London, New York, and go from there. I think that makes the most sense right now here, okay? Keep in mind, last thing, higher time frame supply is here at the top. A lot of buyers try to buy the top here. That's why we take profits early today. We don't hesitate. It might get messy in London, okay? So wait patiently, in my opinion, for the London to do its thing and let New York take over. That's my suggestion, okay? Much love, my friends. Love you guys all. Looking forward to see you tomorrow again. And you guys are the best, you know that, right? You guys are the best, yes. You guys are the best, all right? I'm gonna head out to the gym. I need to get back into the boxing right now. I'm fully back in boxing. My lower back is healed. So I'm back into boxing right now. And I wanna fight again. I wanna fight again. Yes, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna set some new goals. Anyways, love you guys all. I'm gonna see the elite later today. All right, pre-New York, I'm gonna see you there. If you are in the elite, we're gonna have a session today again. Okay, I'm gonna see you there, pre-New York. And for the rest, I see you tomorrow, yeah? Download my free book, The LTA Concepts Trading War Map, okay? Get that done, so you have the book already, so you can actually also understand my emails. I give you essentially a lot of emails around the volume profile, around setups that I trade, things like that. And it's a good learning curve for you to learn about the LTA Concepts Trading War Map right here, okay? The volume profile, the volume analysis is what you want to understand, okay? How to use it properly, how it works, why it works. And for all my trade updates, in terms of my results specifically, and free content that I have on my channel, private videos, which are all in here, okay? Get into the Telegram group. This is the only real Telegram group out there. There's not another Telegram group out there. This is the only one, okay? The only one, nothing else. Please, don't get scammed, please, okay? With some fake group. Love you guys. See you tomorrow. Yes, peace.